Hello and welcome to Share Talk. I am Bonnie Hughes. Our guest today is African Battery Metals. Obviously, from the title, they are looking at projects that will benefit from the electric vehicle market. They have projects mainly in Africa. They have one in the DRC, Cameroon, and also Cote d'Ivoire, and just recently one in Tanzania. And here to tell us all about the projects is Paul Johnston, Executive Director. Hello, Paul, and thank you very much for joining us.
It's good to be here. Thank you very much.
So you just recently did a financing in February, and you relisted put the company back on the exchange and sort of did some rejigging of the company to maximize what you're going to do with it potentially. Please tell us a bit about that.
Sure. Okay, so it's a bit of a sad story at first. A couple of years ago, African Battery Metals was nudging on 70 pence a share, and then it fell all the way down to about 1.5 and was suspended pending financial clarification in December 2018. Not a good situation. Well, we came along and we did a refinancing, but unfortunately that was at 0.5 pence a share. We raised £1 million and the company came out of its suspension, came back on the market in February. So it's been about 4 months since it came back on the market. We've had the restructuring, we've got the money in the bank, and we've started to spend that money. We had originally 3 projects in Western Central Africa, as you say, Cameroon, the Ivory Coast and the DRC. What we committed to at the start was we're going to take a step back. We're going to look at all the projects and do a strategic and operational review. Sounds very dull, doesn't it? But this is the driving engine of any company. When it's in a patch of difficulty, it has a proper look at itself, and we decided to do that and then to release step by step our findings on each project and what we were going to do going forward.
So you had a strategy, and you still have a strategy in place, but potentially if a project comes up that looks like it has something that would be of interest, you may sort of shift your strategy to go along with that.
Okay, I read on Twitter this morning, somebody said that no junior exploration company has a strategy. Well, yes, we do, and we're implementing it right now and developing it as we go along. What we decided to do was, in the DRC, to move forward with the Kasinka copper cobalt project. We decided to do some termite mound sampling, and lo and behold, we expected some good results, but never to get a 7-kilometre copper anomaly right through the heart of our licence area. So that already has yielded a major result for our company. In Cameroon, we're doing something slightly different. We have a cobalt nickel project in Cameroon. We're next door to the Nkamuna deposit, which is a monster size deposit. Anyone can research it on Google. We have licence areas nearby. Their mineralisation generally is below a horizon of around 6 metres down. So we're digging some pits right now. It's literally happening in the field now. And we're going to sample those pits and see if we get mineralisation. And if we do, and if it's similar geology to Nkamuna next door, then we have a major asset in Cameroon. We're still looking at the Ivory Coast and that project and deciding exactly what to do there. And we will announce to market when we make that decision. But it's very exciting with our existing interests. But as you know, we also have some new additional interests in the portfolio.
And what was the strategy in looking at Tanzania?
Okay, with any new project at the moment, we are in the best position because the market is difficult, it's tough, it's hard to get financings, and you can access really good quality projects for very good terms. I've known Louis Kutsia, who runs Katoro Gold, that owns the Haneti Nickel Project in Tanzania for many years. When I was responsible for Metal Tiger, we invested in Kibo Mining. A beautiful story where we put £150,000 in and made £1 million in a few weeks, actually. It was quite an incredible turnaround. Now, we've done something similar with Katoro, also run by Louis, where we've invested £100,000 of ABM's money into Katoro Gold stock to buy 10 million shares at 1 pence and 10 million warrants at 1.25 with a 3-year life. Warrants are the Willy Wonka golden tickets in our business, and so it's great to get that package. Now, we did that when the Katoro price was only half a penny. So we overspent, as it were, and we paid a premium. But that premium bought us a 25% stake in the Haneti Nickel Project for Katoro Gold. Now, you look at their website and have a look at that project. I've been following it for years. I've always wanted to have an involvement in that project. It's a nickel sulphide project, a huge strike length. Incredible kind of geological potential. We've got 25%. We can increase that to 35% by paying the company a further £25,000. So with Katoro, we have two kind of opportunities. One, to make a lot of money on this incredibly, in my opinion, undervalued stock, KAT. And also with the Haneti Nickel Project. But it doesn't stop there, because we also have Botswana.
Oh, okay. So I didn't realize you had Botswana. What's going on in Botswana?
Well, Botswana is something that's very close to me after the Metal Tiger days, where we invested with MOD Resources, and we got a position, a 30% position then, in the Kalahari Copper Belt, and the 15, 16 licenses that MOD Resources bought into. Now, we've done something slightly different this time. We've done a deal with ABM where we've bought 18% of Kalahari Key Mineral Exploration. If you look at Kalahari Key on Google, you'll see their website, and you can go and get all the information. So it's great for those that like to research. They're spending the money that we've given them on work on the ground to identify targets for drilling in the coming months, potentially next year. And we have a right by the end of 2019 to earn into 40% direct project interest in their single project, which is the Malopo Farms Complex project in Botswana. It's nickel PGM mineralisation, and it's elephant-sized targets. They have, from their work to date, about 17 targets that they've identified. They're trying to narrow that down. They've got about 10 targets less than 200 metres depth, and they want to narrow it down even more. And then if we decide to proceed to earn into 40%, we have to spend $500,000 to help them do drill holes in the coming months or next year to look for that mineralisation, to see if we can get fortunate, lucky, or technically brilliant, depending on how you define it. If they strike, this is a major opportunity for us and for our shareholders. Look at what happened with Metal Tiger, and how when they found that discovery at T3, I was the CEO on the board of Metal Tiger at the time, and they found 50 metres of 2% copper or so. Major moment, and a revaluation in the Metal Tiger share price and the MOD share price happened. And that's what we're in this business for major uplifts in share price.
So you have a history with Metal Tiger in finding good projects and taking them forward and building shareholder value, from what it sounds. And how do you get attracted to the projects? Do you have historical data, then you do some due diligence before you decide to take an interest?
Oh, in the market at the moment, there's people are approaching you with all sorts of projects all the time. I'm not a geologist, I'm a chartered accountant, and probably not a very good accountant at that. But I think with the right team around you, the right consultants and the right directors around you in the business, and management team members, you can actually whittle them down and get the right opportunities. As I say, because it's such a poor market, things are priced sensibly. Deals can be structured in the proper way, and you can actually benefit yourselves as a company investing, and also the investee companies, with properly constructed deals and being fair and reasonable and supportive. And that's exactly how we want to be, and how we've been with all of our partners. We have multiple opportunities in the pipeline. I think we might have said in an RNS recently, the pipeline is bursting with opportunity. Well, it is. We have a strong working capital position. We're raising £1 million, clearing off old debts, sorting out the business, reinvesting in new opportunities and existing programs takes some of that working capital away, but our position is very robust. We're in a strong position. Very few companies are at the moment in the markets. If you look at AIM, if you look at the ASX, you look at TSX, most companies are stagnant, doing nothing. We have operations actively progressing in multiple projects. And when you get that, you have what I call now the Greatland Gold scenario, where if you're spending money wisely and you're doing work, you stand a damn good chance of finding something, and that's what we intend to do.
With all these projects that you have going on, I'm assuming that there's going to be quite a lot of news flow on each one as you're doing exploratory work?
Oh yeah, we have a philosophy. It comes perhaps from the Metal Tiger days, where they used to take the mickey out of me because we released regular news. But I think it's important, if you invest in our company, you know that we will tell you what's going on. So we'll tell you when we plan to do something, when we start it, when it's in progress, when we conclude it, and what the results are. So each element of the work that we do will have multiple market news announcements to inform and update investors. So yes, the news flow is quite robust already, but is going to grow.
And it is early days on lots of the projects. So I guess as you do some more exploratory work on it and move the projects forward, you'll be announcing to the market which one you're going to focus more on than the others, because obviously limited capital means you can't focus all of them all the time.
Well, you don't have to spend vast amounts of money to move the projects forward quite materially. And we are in the early stages, yes. However, if you look at the impact on your share price, it's the early stage discoveries. You know, when you find decent intersections, decent grade, you find decent geological structures, those are the things that can dramatically drive your share price higher. And this is the part of the market I like to be in. There are super low market caps. We're a couple of £1 million market capitalisation or just below. And we can see dramatic increases in our valuation if we find something material in the ground. So, yes, we will stay proactive across multiple projects. I don't really, have any particular focus at the moment. We're just sensing where we are with each of our different interests. We're doing active operational work. I suppose when we start going forward in Botswana, if one assumes we crystallise our right to earn in and we start drilling in the ground, that will be a major event for us. But otherwise, before then, there's plenty of news that can dramatically change the fortunes of our business for shareholders.
Well, it sounds like very exciting times, Paul, and we look forward to hearing about your progress and all of the exciting news on your projects. So please come and visit us again.
Oh, I'll come back to see you. At the moment, I'm buzzing. I'm thinking this morning it's a little bit like the early Metal Tiger days when everything was starting to buzz and get very lively, except this is far more exciting. We have a portfolio of interest, the like of which I've not been able to build before. We have huge opportunities to create value. Very few people realise that our story is growing and building at the rate it is. Lots of people dislike us as a business, which is a perfect contrarian play scenario. So we're all set to go. So I'm going to come back and see you very soon, hopefully.
Well, we are enjoying your enthusiasm. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And thank you very much for joining us on Share Talk. Have a very profitable day.